Hi all, it's Once a Future Gamer here, and last time we beat Pokemon Fire Red with a single Snow Runt, a challenge that brick-walled me in places. Today though, we're going back to Gen 5, and we are answering the question of whether or not I can beat Pokemon Black with a single Beedrill. Now, I do like the idea of using Pokemon to try and beat regions that they're not native to. About Beedrill then. In Gen 6, Beedrill did get a 10-point attack buff, but alas, we're a Gen too early. In Gen 5, Beedrill has a BST of 385, which isn't too bad. However, you do have to remember, this is a fully evolved Pokemon. Let's look at the good. 80 in attack is decent, 18 special defense is also decent, and 75 in speed, I'm not complaining at that. On the negative side, 65 HP isn't particularly special, and 40 physical defense is worrying. The special attack stands at 45, but I'm sure we're not going to be using that. 385 BST is the same as Lickitung, Poliwhirl, Onix, Mudbray and Kubfu, as well as the other 3-stage regional bug forms from Hoenn and Kanto, Butterfree, Dustox and Beautifly. We're weak to 4 types, Flying, Rock, Fire and Psychic, which can potentially be covered by 3 major fights in the game, but we resist Fighting, one of the Elite 4, Bug, one of the gym leaders, as well as Poison and Grass, so a mixed bag. In terms of move coverage, we don't get much naturally. Other than Poison Sting, we don't get a stab move until level 16. Poison Jab could be useful later on, Assurance might be handy too, but they're amongst the last few moves that we learn. On the TM side though, there is plenty of useful physical moves for coverage, Return, Brick Break, Facade, Acrobatics, X-Scissor, U-Turn, Giga Impact, Toxic, Double Team, even something like Swords Dance could be very useful, so I can potentially have some fun here. I think that I can do this, but I might need to be at a high level. We've got a type advantage against 2 of the Elite 4, but Enon gets this at the end, might be rough. Only time will tell. If you think I can't do this, then comment below and tell me that I'm crazy for even trying. On to the rules then. In combat, I can only use Beedrill or one of its pre-evolutions. I might need other Pokemon for HMs, but they won't be permitted to fight. No items in battle beyond held items or Pokeballs. And last of all, no using glitches or exploits beyond using the universal Pokemon randomizer to give myself Weedle as a starter. I choose to replace Snivy, meaning that Cheren has Tepig, and also the Straton gym leader will have a fire type as well, which is going to make the start of the game even harder. If Bianca has Oshawott, then at least she's got something that isn't weak against us too. Starting the game then, there's an immediate face-off with both rivals ahead. Fair reminder where it's due, Black and White do have an abundance of rival fights in them, more than the entire rest of the series put together it feels like sometimes. Probably not true, but it might as well be, and in the end, isn't that the real truth? Nah, probably not. Anyway, I picked Weedle so that we can do the whole run with it. I'm hoping for a nature that boosts either attack or speed, but not at the expense of the other. Adamant nature would be preferred, but that's probably too much to hope for. Our first fight is against Bianca and her Oshawott. It hits hard, and although I poison it on the first turn and get it to red health, she lands a crit tackle after multiple tail whips that one hit me from 3/4 health. Ah well, we'll get her next time. Next up is Cheren, and thanks to my tactic of using Poison Sting over and over, I do eventually manage to beat him after he goes for repeated tail whips rather than killing me outright. So, let's see how it shapes up in the future. In the lab, we nickname our Pokemon Needle, and for the first time, we look at our stats. Shield Dust ability, which will be useful if there's a guarantee of his keeping it, and also the sassy nature, so lowered speed and increased special defense. I suppose that could be better, but it could also have been worse. Ah well, we're pretty fast to start with, or will be when we are Beedrill. Now, having looked it up, I know that Patrat and Lilliput give attack EVs, and Purloin gives speed EVs, so I guess we're going to have to do some grinding in early areas, which isn't easy because we're weak. We have to run back to our house after pretty much every fight to heal up. We even get knocked out a few times by level 4 Pokemon. Eventually we evolve into Kakuna, and we're only a few more levels away from becoming the mighty Beedrill. When a level 2 Patrat is capable of wiping out over half our health and we're more than 3 times its level, you know we've got issues. Eventually, after what seems like hours, we evolve Kakuna into Beedrill. The stats aren't bad for this point in the game, plus we get the Swarm ability, which I don't know how useful it'll be, but I guess we'll have to make the best of it. I head to the next town and the fight with N, who uses a single Purloin. I hit it with Poison Sting and it counters with Scratch before I finish it off with Fury Attack. I don't like the move, it's too unreliable, but it's about the best we've got right now, so, again, make the best of it. We have a fight with Bianca, where she unleashes a Lillipup on me. I've got a lot of experience fighting these things come this point, having probably ground the population nearly to extinction outside November Town. I start with Focus Energy, and then unleash Fury Attack. It survives, she uses a potion on the next turn. I fish it off with 2 Poison Sting attacks. Next up is Oshawott, and upon using Fury Attack, I land a Vital Crit, which takes it down with very little trouble. Up next is Sharon at the trainer's school, and I'm level 15 by this point thanks to the efforts of my EV training. Other than that Oshawott I've just mentioned, every single Pokemon I've beaten by this point should have given either attack or speed values, so we should be in good stead, but it's time to move on. And in this fight we see both the best and worst of multi-hit moves. I start with Focus Energy, and Sharon's Tepig uses Tail Whip. The first Fury Attack strike crits, and it eats a berry before the second crits as well, and the third finishes it. Nice! Up against Purloin, Fury Attack lands 3 times and it lands on red health. Nothing more annoying than the move just failing to deal a killing blow. Ah well, up next is the gym. The fight is against Chili, and I'm going to have to beat a fire type in Pansear, just like I planned to. Actually, in this fight, things could go worse. I start with Focus Energy, and then begin to hammer at his Pat Rat with Fury Attacks, while it uses Work Up. It starts to turn sour when he heals it. I miss a Fury Attack, and it lands a couple of big bites before I finish it off. Next is Pansear, and I land a few Fury Attacks while it works up. It hits me with Incinerate, and my heart is in my mouth, but the high special defense saves me. I survive on 2 HP and finish the Pansear off. That's the first badge down. Plus, I learned Twin Needle. It's a multi-hit move, which I admit I've just been decrying, but at least it's 100% accurate, unlike Fury Attack. Plus, it has a chance to poison. How awesome's that? I use the free Pampor as a HM slave, teach it to cut. Beedrill can learn cut, but I'd rather gargle Broken Glass and use it as a viable option in battle. Next we have another fight with Sharon. His Tepig is a problem thanks to it using Defense Curl. I land Fury Attack and Twin Needles on it, but until I land a 5-hit Fury Attack, one of which is a crit thanks to Focus Energy, I struggle to knock it out. His Purloin isn't a problem, it goes down to a single round of Twin Needle. Useful move. At level 24 I've got rid of Poison Sting and Fury Attack in favour of Rock Smash and Pursuit, but they're temporary measures. I might well need Rock Smash for the gym ahead. Before I can do that though, there's another fight with Den. His P-Dove goes down to a critical Pursuit after I use Focus Energy, and it lands 2 quick attacks. Timpole goes down to Twin Needle, while Timber goes down to a pair of Rock Smash attacks. I doubt that I can beat Lenora at this level, but I am willing to give it a try. Herdia starts with its Intimidate ability, and I use Focus Energy. It uses a pair of Leers, which is a problem, even as I take it out with Rock Smash and Twin Needle. Thankfully, Watchog doesn't land Retaliate immediately upon coming out. It instead uses Hypnosis as I land Twin Needle, hoping for a crit. It doesn't play out that way. Beedrill takes a Retaliate while asleep, which isn't fatal. I wake up and land another Twin Needle while hoping for a crit, but alas, no joy, as it finishes me off with Retaliate. I got it to Red Elf, so I wasn't that far off. Maybe another level or 2 will see me over the line, which, given the Gen 5 experience system, is the exact thing that I wanted to do. Spot the sarcasm. I get decent Audino, lucky to get to level 27, and then I make another try at her. On the subject of luck, I get a lot of it in the rematch. Herdia comes out first again and intimidates. I use Focus Energy, Herdia uses Leer, and then I one-hit it with a crit Rock Smash. Next up is Watchog, and instead of potentially murdering me with Retaliate, it uses Leer after I've landed Rock Smash for a quarter of its health, lowering its defense. Before it can hit me, I land another Rock Smash, this one crits and knocks it out. 2 badges down, I'll take that and run. Many shenanigans later, and I take on the third gym leader, Berg. We've been about 10 minutes without a rival fight, but that'll change shortly. I'm not too concerned about Berg. We can't be poisoned, which is one of his main tactics. So, probably the worst one is Whirlipede. I don't have a great way of hitting it. Even with a scope lens on and using Focus Energy, the crits don't come often enough to seriously harm it. I knock out 2/3 of its health with a crit Pursuit on the first turn, but Berg heals the thing twice as I pepper it with Twin Needles and Pursuit attacks. Worse, it uses Screech to wreck our already fragile defense. Eventually I knock it out though. Dwebble goes down to 2 Twin Needle strikes using Sand Attack in exchange. Levani is a pain, Spine Protect and String Shot. I get a clear shot with Twin Needle and it misses because of the sand. A crit Razor Leaf does massive damage to us, even with resisting it 4 times. Eventually though, Twin Needle lands, takes it out, and I've got 3 badges. Next up is Bianca, she's not a challenge. Herdia comes out first, I use Focus Energy, and her Pooch slams into Needle with Takedown. Twin Needle then finishes it off. Munna goes down to Twin Needle, as does Duox, the 2 of them, only managing Focus Energy between being struck by the Needles. Last is Pansear, who goes down to a pair of Rock Smash attacks, all while Needle shrugs off Incinerate very easily. Up next, Sharon reappears. The battlefield isn't conducive to me. After being struck by a pair of air cutters, one of them a crit from P-Dove, and getting repeatedly buffered by the Sandstorm, it doesn't take long for Pig Knight to take Needle down with Flame Charge. So, that didn't go to plan then. I level up a bit more, fighting every trainer that I can find. I can't afford to screw around versus P-Dove. I don't have any moves available via TM that will help. At level 37 I'll get Poison Jab, but that's still 4 levels away worth of grinding against wild Pokemon that I'm mostly twice the level of, so I don't really want to go down that route. In the rematch I go straight for Pursuit against Pidove rather than Focus Energy and 2-hit it. I've got 2/3 of my health left, it landed another crit air cutter which didn't help. Pignite is 2-hit with Rock Smash thanks to a defense drop that inflicts major damage on me with Flame Charge. Pansage goes down to Twin Needle, and as Lipard comes out, I've got 8 HP left, and I'm mentally screaming, "Don't use Fake Out!" Because if it had, I'd have lost. It didn't, and I knock it out with Twin Needle. Phew! In Nimbasa City, I get the TM for return, and also learn Poison Jab while training off to the east. So I've got 2 pretty powerful moves to utilise ahead of Gym 4. Before I can tackle the gym though, there's a fight with Ven in front of the Ferris wheel. Sandile goes down to Twin Needle before Darumaka is 1-hit with Poison Jab. Sigilif also gets 1 hit by the same attack, and last up is Scraggy, who quickly gets defeated as well. Next, we've got Eliza in Gym 4, and I have a feeling that I'm going to end up paralysed at some point. Just a feeling. Anyway, her first Emolga goes down to Poison Jab. No paralysis there. Her second Emolga also goes down to Poison Jab. Static has to kick in here, right? Surely. No paralysis. I guess not. I 1-hit Zeb Striker with Poison Jab, and just like that, the fight is over. I guess I was wrong. No paralysis. Ah, well, you've got to get lucky sometimes. Next, we have a fight with Sharon, because you know that unwritten rule in Black and White that there's got to be a rival fight approximately every 6.28 seconds. Lipard lands Fake Out, Needle shrugs it off with minimal damage, and then murders it with Twin Needle. Tranquil uses Detect and evades Needle's Poison Jab. The second one lands though, and takes it out with 1 hit. Pignite is 1-hit with Poison Jab, before Pansage goes down to Twin Needle. Not that bad now that we can hit hard and there's no Sandstorm to make things complicated. Gym 5 is Ground type Trainer Clay, and I figure this one might be rough. I don't like the idea of taking physical hits, but I put the Rocky Helmet on Needle because I get the feeling that some are coming. Crocorock is 1-hit with Twin Needle before Excadrill comes out, and I go for Focus Energy. It lands Rock Slide and deals massive damages to us, and worse, it isn't a contact move. So, yeah. I land a crit return for 3/4 of its health, but it resists the move, which saves it from defeat. Second Rock Slide takes us out. Okay then, that didn't go as planned. Forget the Rocky Helmet. I pop the scope lens back on, and this time I try for Focus Energy versus Crocorock. I need to be able to do massive damage on Excadrill, because even though we're 10 plus levels higher, it can still 2-hit us as we found out previously. We lose to Crocorock this time thanks to it using Swagger. That's either a very, very good thing or a very, very, very bad thing, and it turns out to be the latter. Needle 2-hits himself in confusion. Oh dear. As usual, probably the worst bit is going back through the gym. Driftveil Gym probably isn't as obnoxious in this game as it is in Black 2 and White 2, but it's still as annoying. Third attempt, we get tagged by Bulldoze after using Focus Energy and can't outspeed Excadrill thanks to said move. It uses Home Claws, our return does 1/3 of its health, and then it destroys us with Rock Slide. Maybe I need more levels or a better strategy. Either will do. For dealing with Excadrill then, via TM, we don't get any offensive Water or Fire moves, or Ground for that matter. We learn 2 fighting type moves, Brick Breakers until after about the same time as Gym 7, and the other alternative is Rock Smash. That isn't going to be pleasant in the slightest. I do the trainers to the west of Driftveil but can't go any further, so I hit level 44 and try this again. I just need a bit of luck. With Gen 5 experience mechanics, I really don't want to grind up on stuff that is 20 levels lower than me. Maybe I should just use Rock Smash and hope for the best. Mind you, for as much as the experience system is a problem, one brilliant thing about Gen 5 was the ability to reuse TMs. I'd have made things harder for myself here if this was an early generation, so that's something. I 2-hit Excadrill with Rock Smash, it lands Bulldoze and lowers our speed, striking Slash to inflict even more damage. Then there's the next issue. Without return, I can't deal enough damage to Palpitoad, and it knocks me out with a pair of Bulldoze attacks, despite taking 2/3 of its health from Rock Smash. Okay then, I might as well get rid of Focus Energy. We're not tanky enough to survive using it against Pokemon with decent physical attacks anyway. This is getting ridiculous. I probably financed Clay's business empire enough by now, and I return with Rock Smash and return, determined this is going to be the moment. That's the vow anyway, and a crit Bulldoze puts paid to it. When he builds the PWT for the sequels, I want my name put on the stadium, since I've probably funded the cost of the majority of the bricks so far. The next attempt though, it's done. Crocorock goes down to Twin Needle. A crit Rock Smash destroys Excadrill before it can start to inflict massive damage on my fragile little bug, and return takes down Palpitoad. Let's get out of here before he decides that he wants a rematch. Hey, Bianca's back, and she wants to go again on the subject of rematches. Her Herdia uses Intimidate, which is an issue, but it still gets taken out with Poison Jab. as does Panseer, which is up next. Moshana is tougher. I land Twin Needle, but it survives on red health, and she heals it up after using Defense Curl. I use Poison Jab and Twin Needle to take it out. Duot is last. I lamp it with Poison Jab and it uses Razor Shell to inflict decent damage before she heals it. A second Poison Jab lands it on red health and inflicts it with Venom. That Venom manages to finish off the crippled otter, so yeah, she's cooked. Don't think the next one will be pleasant against her outside Issaros City, but that's a problem for future OAFG. At the end of Chargestone Cave, there's another fight with N. Boldor gives me the most trouble. Those are words I never thought I'd say. I take it down to red health with 2 Rock Smash attacks, but it uses Iron Defense. Before I can finish it with Twin Needle, it lands a brutal smackdown. Joltik is easy. It goes down to a single hit of Poison Jab. Ferroseed is harder. It survives Rock Smash and lands Metal Claw, inflicting big damage on me. I finish it with another Rock Smash, but another blast of Iron Barbs isn't fun. Last is Clink, who goes down to a single Rock Smash. Job just about done. It'll not help me much in Gym 6, but I do acquire the X-Scissor TM, so that'll be useful later, and replace Twin Needle. Skylar is our next fight. Swoobat is taken down with a single Poison Jab. Unpheasant is brought crashing down with another Poison Jab. Swanner is quickly eliminated too in the same manner. Poison Jab finishes it off. That's the 6th badge down, and I reckon I'll make use of the Acrobatics TM at some point. Sharon appears next for another brawl. Unpheasant is treated with the same manner of gentle care as Skylar's was and gets brought down with Poison Jab. Pig Knight gets roasted by the same move. For Lipard, I go for X-Scissor, but it brings me up short with Fake Out. I go for the same move and take it out at the second attempt, before the same move for a third time cuts down Simisage. That wasn't too hard. When Pig Knight evolves into Embor though, I might need Acrobatics to take it down. Next is Bryson. I've got my hands on Brick Break ahead of this fight. His first Pokemon, Vanillite, gets destroyed by Poison Jab before his Bear Tick comes out and is knocked swiftly out by Brick Break. Finally, Cryogonal is shattered by the same move. Brick Break smashing the Snowflake into pieces. Try saying that 10 times really fast. There's some story stuff now with Dragon Spiral Tower and Relic Castle, but next there's another fight with Bianca, the final one if memory serves. Stoutland is an issue, it intimidates us and we're immediately at a disadvantage. Needle strikes it with Brick Break to put it in low yellow health and it uses Work Up. Bianca uses a full restore. I hit it with another Brick Break and put it on red health. She uses another full restore. I hit it with another 2 Brick Breaks to put it down. Simisear is one hit wonder with Poison Jab. Moshana is one hit with X-Scissor. And last is Samurott, who tanks a Poison Jab quite well before being infected with poison. It uses Revenge, which does laughable damage, before following that up with Aqua Jet, which doesn't do laughable damage. However, another Poison Jab takes it down. As we face Drayden, Needle hits level 65. Let's do this. Fracture goes down to a single Poison Jab. Druddigon, though, is harder. It survives Poison Jab and lands Revenge, which does minimal damage. Rough Skin, though, does more. Drayden heals his annoying dragon twice, even as I land X-Scissor attacks on it to cut its health down over and over again. I eventually slay it with Return. Finally, it's Haxorus and we're below half health. This could be tricky. However, it turns out not to matter, as Needle strikes Poison Jab, hits the soft underpart of its belly, and immediately knocks it out for the win. 8 badges down, and we're off to the Pokemon League. First though, there's the final Sharon fight. It goes about as badly as it could. We hit Unpheasant with Poison Jab, and it survives before landing a critical air slash that wipes out half of our health before we finish it off with Return. Next up is Embor, who tanks a Poison Jab, and then roasts Needle with Flamethrower. Okay, then I need to rethink this. Looks like my earlier prediction might be about to come true. I replace Return with Acrobatics and drop the lucky egg that Needle's been holding. Let's see how Embor likes this. Not much is the answer. This time, Unpheasant chooses not to attack. It spams Detect and Taunt in between getting hit with Poison Jab and Brick Break to knock it out. Embor is knocked out cold by Acrobatics, while Lipard and Simisage are very quickly knocked out too, which isn't surprising given the advantage that Needle has over both of them. X-Scissor takes out Lipard and Poison Jab knocks out Simisage. Eventually, we arrive at the Pokemon League with Needle at level 69. Our stats are decent in some areas. Attack is 169, which is good. The special defense and speed are 134 and 135 respectively. The special attack, which we won't use, is at 87. The defense though is at 74, which isn't going to be helpful. I got one hit by a Gigalith in Victory Road using Stone Edge. That was like 24 levels lower than me, so there is an element of danger here. Either I'll take them out in one hit, or they'll take me out in one hit. I'm not going to lie, I'm worried about the Ghost Trainer. We don't have any sort of good moves to deal with her beyond Thief, which lacks power. If only I could learn Night Slash or Shadow Claw in this game. It might be a case of grinding on the others until we can brute force her. Okay, let's start with the psychic trainer first. Granted, we are weak against Caitlyn, but I think we can mess her up. These are the proud words of an optimist. Reuniclus is one hit with X-Scissor, and very quickly, Mashana follows it in the same way. Sigilif is an issue. I poison jab it and do big damage. It lands psychic, which we do tank quite well because of our special defense. She heals it, I land acrobatics, she heals it again, and I land another pair of poison jabs to finish it off. Last is Gothitelle, and it goes down to X-Scissor. That was simple enough. Sigilif aside. I do the Dark Trainer, Grimsley, next. His Scrafty gets one hit by acrobatics, and Lipard comes out next. It flinches Needle with Fake Out, but X-Scissor cuts it down. Bisharp goes down to Brick Break, and last is Crocodile, who goes down to X-Scissor. That was easy, 2 down. Like I said, I doubt I'll be able to beat the other 2 so easily. Against Marshall though, yeah, I'm right. Throw is one hit with acrobatics, but I think Sorcast's sturdy, so I can't one hit it. That ability has proved to be a problem throughout the run, and demonstrated yet again as I land X-Scissor to try and weaken it, and it hits a crit Stone Edge that knocks me out from full health. Well damn. I go for Chantal actually next just to see if we have an easier time against her. Probably not, but we'll see. I'll be heavily relying on acrobatics. I managed to take Coffagrigus down with 2 acrobatics attacks. It lands Psychic for decent damage. Next is Chandelure, and I deal decent damage with acrobatics. You know, my special defense is decent. It's not quite decent enough to withstand the stab fire blast from a Chandelure. The challenge ends as soon as it started pretty much. Well, levels I guess. Marshall might be the better option. Stone Edge can't land every time, can it? That proves to be a spookily accurate prediction as Fro goes down to acrobatics and I land Brick Break on Sork. It misses Stone Edge. I quickly finish it with acrobatics. Conkelda goes down to acrobatics. Mian Shao quickly goes the same way. Whew. I make another run at Chantal, replacing Brick Break with Thief. It's weak, I know, but given at least one of her Pokemon has Cursed Body, it's good not to have to rely on just one move. If only I could get the Swords Dance TM before the post game, that'd help a lot, but I can't. Doesn't help that she resists both our stab moves either. The second attempt plays out the same way as the first, only I get burned after striking Chandelure with Thief. That's insult onto injury. Third time I get fainted by Fire Blast. I've never seen that frigging move land so many times. Next attempt she does miss a Fire Blast, but thanks to being burned by Coffagrigus I'm in no position to take advantage. Next attempt I nearly knock Coffagrigus out twice, but as I'm burned again it doesn't do any good as she spams full restores. What's going on with these low accuracy moves hitting me without fail? Another effort results in failure at the embers of Fire Blast, but given I'm nearly level 80 now, I am hitting them a whole lot harder. Maybe another few levels and I will be able to one-hit Chandelure. At level 81, I managed to knock out Confagus with acrobatics and poison jab after she heals with a full restore. It lands a psychic, which I deal with quite well. Now, when Chandelure comes out, I leave it on red health with acrobatics. She strikes back with payback. Because my ability was overwritten by Mummy, thanks to Coffagrigus, she loses the flame body ability and I can hit it at will without worrying about getting burned. She heals, I take it out with acrobatics and poison jab. Golurk goes down to acrobatics and Jellicent out last, eventually, goes down the same way. Next, there's plot. I always thought the bit where the gym leaders show up to face off against the sages was pretty cool. Next, I have to catch Reshiram. I use the Master Ball because I can't really be bothered having a protracted fight with it. It'd be more than capable of murdering Needle in a series of fiery attacks, so this is easier. The game forces it to the top of my party, but I'm not allowed to use it in battle, so I'll hook Pokeballs at Zekrom until it pulls its finger out and kills my dragon. Come on, Zekrom, hurry up. Stop trying to beat me and beat me. It screws around with light screens and ineffective fusion bolts before finally taking Reshiram down. Needle 2 hits it with poison jab, but takes massive damage from Zen Headbutt. Paracosta is next, and although I deal big damage to it with Brick Break, Stone Edge wrecks me. Once again. Oh drat. Second attempt goes the same way. I've got marginally more health for the fight with Caracosta, thanks to Zekrom only using Fusion Bolt, but it still knocks me out with Stone Edge. Third attempt, the story stays the same. I decide to go off and get the Shell Bell. I drop acrobatics for a turn as well. Does it do much good? Not on the next attempt, no. I think the ideal configuration of events would be Zekrom to use Light Screen and then Caracosta to miss Stone Edge. What chance do you think I have of that? Somewhere between unlikely and no sodding chance would be my guess. Anyway, I guess all I can do is keep at it. I think I've probably been knocked out enough times between Marshall, Chantal and N that Return is probably losing its effectiveness, which isn't good. At the next attempt though, it all comes together. Zekrom is 2 hit with Poison Jab, Caracosta misses Stone Edge, and I manage to get some good health recovery back after striking it repeatedly with Brick Break. Archeops is next, but I outspeed it and land Brick Break to take away 2/3 of its health. It does land Stone Edge, but Defeatist saves me and I finish it off with another Brick Break. Next is Kling Klang, or at least I think it is, as I strike Brick Break, and it shatters the illusion to reveal the fainted Zoroark. Next is the real Kling Klang, and it goes down to Brick Break. Last is Vanillux, and it goes down to Brick Break. Take that, you green-haired psycho. As I remember what's next, I realise I might have a wee bit of an issue now against Getsis. It's friggin' Cofagrigus again. With no acrobatics, I have to use Poison Jab and X-Scissor to beat it, which means I get hammered by half a dozen psychic attacks. Eventually I take it down though. Hydreigon is easier, it goes down to X-Scissor, while Bisharp goes down to Brick Break. Electros is harder, it goes down to 2 Poison Jabs, though it does leave me on low health thanks to a Flamethrower attack. Bouffalante is next, and it survives Brick Break to knock me out with Wild Charge. I need acrobatics back then. I relearn it and drop the Shell Bell. At least I can't get Toxic Poison by Cofagrigus. Small mercies. At the second attempt, I deal with Cofagrigus easier, but still lose half of my health to a crit Psychic. Hydreigon and Bisharp goes down the same way they did before. After taking a Poison Jab, Electros uses Wild Charge and knocks itself out with Recoil before Bouffalante takes a Poison Jab and finishes me with a Wild Charge of its own. Next attempt, my Fragile Insect gets clattered by an acrobatics wielding Electros from pretty much full health and loses most of the remaining hit points before getting Wild Charged by Bouffalante again. At least on the next attempt, I get to see Bouffalante go down as it lands a head charge on Needle, taking both of them down. It threw Recoil, Needle through being demolished by a full body charge from a Buffalo. The biggest problem is Electros. I'm getting closer and closer to being able to one-hit it with Poison Jab. The moment that happens, I'll probably win. Between Wild Charge, Flamethrower and Acrobatics, it has the potential to really screw with Needle, and Bouffalante is able to sweep in and finishes off. The next attempt, even though we hit level 85 during the fight, we still can't one-hit Electros with Poison Jab. To add insult to more injury, it burns us and Getsis heals it, and then finishes us off with Acrobatics. Next attempt, Electros knocks itself out with the recoil from Wild Charge. Our health is in 3 figures, but it's still not enough to survive Bouffalante's head charge. At level 86, 34 levels higher, it's still not enough to one-hit Electros. Worse, the damage range doesn't seem to be changing. It keeps leaving it on the same red fraction of health as before. This is starting to get annoying. On the next fight at level 87, I finally one-hit Electros and 2-hit Bouffalante, but not before it causes massive damage to me. Seismitoad, though, defeats Needle with Earthquake. Okay, that is promising. Next attempt, Cofagrigus goes down to 2 acrobatic attacks, despite dropping our special defense with Psychic. Hydreigon and Bisharp go down the same way they have throughout. Electros survives Poison Jab again and lands Flamethrower. Gets his heals, though the second Poison Jab one hits it. Bouffalante is one hit crit with Brick Break, and I land X-Scissor on Seismitoad. It survives, but makes the really bad decision to use Rain Dance. I hit it with X-Scissor again, and that's the game. Getsis is defeated. Oh my word. That was brutal. That might have been the hardest one I've done so far, just beating out the Glamio one. Definitely harder than my last trip to Unova when I did the Mean Food Challenge. I'm in the wrong month to face Cynthia, and given how I struggled against the Elite Four at their first stage, I doubt I'd be able to get to Alder. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm calling it as challenge completed. Think it might be the last Gen 5 challenge I do for a few months. I think I'm going to see that friggin' Electros every time I close my eyes. Think I'm going to return to Sinnoh for the next challenge, as I see if I can beat Pokemon Pearl with a single Ponyta. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this run. If you have, then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and all that stuff, especially if you want to see me make more content like this. If you have any suggestions for challenges, then you can drop them in the comments section below or on my Twitter page at @OnceandG. If you're interested in the other stuff I've done, then check out my channel. So yeah, we're almost out of time. This has been Once and Future Gamer, and thanks for joining me. Take care now. Have a great day. Bye-bye.